Hey guys, got some Sigma gameplay today to go over. This is a comp match. We've got Isochronos here, who is a silver tank main. Haven't had a ton of games, or doesn't have a ton of games played, so hard to calibrate just yet where he is. But that's where we're playing right now. It's silver. Gonna look at his gameplay. We're gonna focus on his cooldown usage and ult usage, and just try and see what could be improved there. I've already watched this video, and one thing that I want to note just right off the bat is I think that Isochronos could really get some value out of either lowering sensitivity, getting a bigger mouse pad, something like that, because the tracking feels very off when watching it. That might just come with practice, but we can actually hop into a game really quickly. Let me just show what I'm talking about. So if I pick Sigma, let's say. So what am I talking about with tracking? Well, I'm trying to hold my mouse on this bot's head to the best of my ability. No, I'm not very good at it. And my sensitivity might actually be a little too low. But this is basically what you want to do. You want to hold your mouse on someone's head, be able to click it, and do massive amounts of damage. Headshots are much better than body shots. What I'm seeing a lot of is a lot of movement, a lot of quick movements, which makes me think that your sensitivity might be a little high. Now, there's a lot of good videos that can help you figure out, what works for you. I recommend keep working on it until you can hold your cursor while moving. You could AD spam, things like that, and try and hold your cursor on this guy, on the bot's head. Let's go back to the game though. So we're gonna start here with holding this corner in this match. This is on defense on Havana. Great map. I love this map personally. Your team is all set up here on this corner, except for your Moira in the back, who's playing in a better position than anybody. Essentially, everyone's just trying to hold this corner right here. I'm actually going to go to purple. Hold this corner right here. So holding corners is really good, and you want to play in natural cover as much as you can. So what you can do is use your shield when you need to, and then get back here, recover resources, and shield health. When I say resources, that's what I'm talking about, shield health. And then get back in without taking any damage. Your enemies have to go all the way around to shoot you when you've got this natural cover. So when the payload's back in this area, you can use this corner as natural cover. Now once the payload gets up here, you can't use this corner anymore, and you've got to back off. So that's why we play on corners, and that's why we position there. So you'll see target priority kind of goes all over the place here. Now you're shooting the shield, which is good. The shield needs to be broken. You're just kind of switching around all over the place. Miss with your rock, your accretion, but that's okay. Okay, and so I was talking about cooldown usage. This is your kinetic grasp ability. This guy right here. So kinetic grasp is great when you've got a bunch of people shooting at you. Let's say the enemy Echo and the enemy team really doesn't have a ton of damage, to be honest. Like, Maze doesn't do a ton of damage. Echo does a ton of damage, but that's about it. And this Orisa, I guess, if they were shooting at you. Say you have 3 people shooting at you. Throw this out. The more damage you take, more damage you suck in, basically, the more shield you get. So that was a miss on there. Now you've got your rock. This looks like a really nice rock right here. So you hit that and displace some people, but then how do you follow up?
Barrier is unstable.
You don't. And so, you know, they're getting pocketed. That's fine. At this point, you got to get some value though out of this guy, and you're not. Okay, so they use beat. You got to back up. You can't kill these people right now. Beat is too strong. This is actually a pretty solid time to use Grasp because Echo is really their only damage on their team. So if you're gonna get some shields out of it, then it's good. Good time. But just imagine if you had Grasp right now and you could walk forward and use it with this Diva and this Orisa who's just spamming the shield. You could save your ally, your Reinhardt shield, which is, maybe I need to zoom out, or your shield is almost broken. Your Reinhardt shield's pretty healthy right now. It is starting to crack a little bit, so it's not perfect health, probably like half health. But if you could walk up and take some of this pressure off of him, take some of the Diva shots, take some of this Orisa shots, you could save his resources, and he could back up to a safe spot. Right now, he's not in a safe spot, and your healer is dead. You've got an advantage because you've killed their healers, their Echo, everything. Like, things are looking good. You're down 1, they're down 3. But having your kinetic grasp right here to suck up some of this damage would be really, really nice. It just seems like, especially here, like trying to track this, it was really, really hard for you.
Unfortunate.
And I think that's just like a sensitivity thing that you need to get figured out. That was good. You were dealing some damage to some squishies who were way out of position. They need to play behind their Orisa shield. And you guys are back up in this kind of safe position here, which is good. Taking up space. Your Reinhardt needs to get back and heal his shield. So your Reinhardt's got a Shatter available. You're about to have your Flux available. About to have a window, and you have a tire. All kinds of stuff. And you need to think about setting up plays because your Gravitic Flux is really great for setting up plays. You could pick them all up, and then Junkrat could go for a tire and get a free kill, basically, or 2. You could pick them up and get behind the window from your BAP and do a ton of damage to people. You know, the people in the air could take a ton of damage from the Bastion and the BAP. That would be really, really nice. When you slam them down, you could have your Reinhardt do his Earth Shatter as well. The thing is, why I'm going into all this detail about combos is Gravitic Flux, the Sigma ult, is not that good by itself. Like, by itself, it's going to do 100 damage. And it's not going to kill anybody unless they're pretty low on health anyway. Let me check the wiki for Sigma really fast. Gravitic Flux does 50 damage and then 50% of their max HP on the slam. So 100 damage to 200 point squishies. Does more damage to your big tanks. So, I mean, it requires a follow-up, though. If they have all their healers, like their Lucio and their Mercy, then they're going to be able to heal that up pretty easily. So now you've got it. You just heard the Mei. She's about to ult. You hear the Mei ult, and you've got your ult. Mei ult's going. And you press Q to try and get out of it. Not going to work. Not going to work. You're going to get frozen. So you lost your ult. Your Reinhardt did get a charge. Let's take a look at this now from this perspective. Your BAP is thrown down the window, which if you got behind right now, you're a really good combo with Baptiste. Your accretion, the rock, or just your left click does a ton of damage behind this window. I mean, window doubles its damage if you can shoot any projectiles through it. So you're a really good combo with the BAP. Getting back here and using it would be really good. Your BAP needs to call that out, though. You're in a really bad spot right now. I know you think you're taking up space, but this right here is not useful. What space are you owning? Like back here, you're saying this is my space right here. Well, nobody on your team is back there. No one could utilize your shield if it was up here anyway. Be super nice if you had it here. If you were over here, had your shield up and were protecting your BAP. The Reinhardt is right here and should be up a little further, or your BAP should be further back, one of the two. But this looks pretty silly right here. You're not providing a ton of value right here, and unless you're going to get like a kill off of one of these guys, then you're not really doing your job. You're not providing a ton of utility. Sigma's utility is, you got the rock, which can stun people in the middle of things. In this case, if we looked at this team, there's not a lot of great targets, but let's say you stun the Mercy next to who's pocketing the Hanzo. You stun her and then hit her with a left click. You could kill her, and that would be a big win for your team. You could also just pump damage into their shields and just be a real pain to push into. Right now, you're not a pain to push into because you don't have any support back here. You don't have anybody supporting you behind you. Like, your healers can't heal you. Your Moira's over here. Your BAP's over here. The only way they're going to heal you is if they go around or go back around. And so what I'd recommend is playing either here or back here, something like that, and trying to get more utility out of your Sigma and keeping yourself safe. You're just such an easy target. Now they're going to kill your BAP first because he's out of position and also got the window here. Let's go back to Sigma Cam. So you're just chilling, taking pot shots. You got a kill off, which is good. Missed the rock there. I don't know if you just like heard people around you and went for it, but you're changing your target priority a whole lot. You have your rock, and then you die to, or you get out of there. You have your rock, and there's a bunch of squishies around, so I would like to have seen you use it on like the Hanzo or something like that. Your team got some kills, and they're having to regroup. Enemy team's having to regroup, so. So this is the tracking thing I'm talking about. So now you're pretty out of position. You throw your barrier really far forward, and all they have to do is walk right here, and they get past it. So that's something. The good thing about Sigma is you could just recall that and put it somewhere else that you actually want to put it. But that doesn't do you much good. Either you put it right in front of you, or you make them walk forward to a position that is more difficult. You know, you're not putting a ton of pressure on them right here. They just have to walk, a little bit over this way. You still got your rock. You're not using it. I think you forget about it. And everybody dies. So that's like more of a game sense thing. It's been a while. D.Va hasn't bombed yet. Should know that D.Va has a bomb. Your team should call that out and try and spread out a bit. And just be ready for it. But your team was pretty far forward, and there's just like not a ton of cover in this area. You could go, cover-wise, your options when this bomb goes off. You've got just a few options. You can go like over this way. You'd have to go all the way back, or you could go in this building here. But those are hard to get to when you're like out in the open right here. So just tracking that ult would be good. Easier said than done. Alright, so you're close to another flux. You're 30% away, so you should be trying your hardest to get your next flux and combo that with somebody. You could combo it with your Moira if you wanted to. You've got a Reaper now. Someone switched on to Reaper. He'd be a great person to combo with, but his ult's pretty far away. It's a good try on a squishy. That was a nice kinetic grasp. You went up and took a bunch of damage for the shield. I think your shield placement was better there. That was really good, and you're just unlucky you weren't able to kill the D.Va. You're very close. Your Rein just yellowed. Alright, so let's back up 20 seconds. And go to Johnny Cam.
Barrier's about to break.
So, like I said, good barrier. And your Rein just decides that he is going to go in. So, D.Va, sliver of health, just super unlucky. One little tickle here, and you would have gotten the D.Va. But I really like that rock. Your Rein just charges in like a madman. Complete madman. He should be back holding the corner. And I think that really, triggers you to use your ult. I think you did a better job of, kind of floating around that time and using that floating time to keep yourself safe. So you're trying to secure the kill here. That was good. And you used your grasp at a good time there. You knew you were a target. Your team's gotten 3 picks. Now you're super far forward, but that's okay because your team's gotten a lot of picks. Your Rein's probably back. You could push up and try and secure these kills. D.Va gets away from you again. Seems like the D.Va has your number on keeping yourself alive. Your aim's getting better. It seems like you're getting a little more comfortable as the match goes on. You've got your rock. I'd like to see you use that on something like that Lucio on the right side. Yeah, that should have been a rock and a kill right there. Your Rein is still a madman. And now you're in trouble. Lamp's gone from your BAP. Rein's almost dead. Your Baptiste is probably dead. He's not in a great position. Urine's not in a great position. You're not in a great position either. So what would be the better alternative? What would be a good position? Like any place. Let's actually use that color. Any place where you can get some natural cover, or let's zoom out even further. Whoops. Let's zoom out even further. Like, you need some form of natural cover. And what are your options in this area? Well, they're pretty limited because this is a pretty wide open area. You need some natural cover to be able to recover your resources, your shield resources, and right now you're just out in the open season on you here, while the enemy team can use this payload area as cover. The payload's always going to provide some form of cover that people can use. So what's a good spot for you then, if it's not right here? Well, at least right here. At least backing up to this area where you can keep moving backwards or something like that would be good. You could play, up top here. Let's clear that out and just go like this. I can't draw very well. Like up here would be good. You could shoot down things right here. But you can see that your team, there's 5 people right here, and your team, there's only 3 of you right here. So something happened to cause that. 3 people are dead. And noticing that on the kill feed is super important. Let's just watch up here and see when people die. Okay, your Moira is now dead. Your Reaper is now dead. And now you're just slowly backing up. And it looks like your Junkrat is about to get finished off over here. This is a bad fight. Essentially, you probably just want to die as soon as possible, honestly. Because your team overextended, and you're not in a good spot. You're holding this position, but you don't have any damage. Like, if your Junkrat was back here or up here, and your Reaper was around the corner here, holding this position would make a lot of sense, but holding here without any damage, you're just going to get melted eventually with just 1 healer and 2 tanks. So you trade support ults here. That beat was completely unnecessary. And your BAP just needs to die. Everybody needs to die. They used another support ult, so it's not super high level play here we're talking about. But you're just asking for trouble playing out here without any natural cover at all. You shouldn't be relying on a Reinhardt shield to be cover for you. And you shouldn't take unnecessary damage. Now, hope this was helpful on your Sigma gameplay. After this, you end up switching to a Winston. And I think it's like a completely different discussion on Winston. You don't have to aim, but it is all a positioning guide there. So I think if we kind of recap, at the beginning I said I was going to focus on cooldowns. I did talk about positioning quite a bit here. You can use your rocks more, your accretion more. I think your fluxes will get better with time, but try not to tunnel vision with your ultimate. And if you just see 4 people hitting the Q button, that's not necessarily the best time to do it. The best time to do it is when your team can follow up and do something about it. And probably most importantly, I would go into the practice range and just look at your sensitivity. Look up some guides on how to tweak your sensitivity to get it into a good spot. because it felt like you were having a hard time, at least in the beginning, aiming. Towards the middle of the game, it started getting better, and maybe it's just a comfort thing in playing Sigma more. So, yeah, let me know if you found this helpful. Drop a comment with any questions that you have, and I'll see you guys later.